What's up everybody, how's it going? This is Kynkie, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a game that I've been playing for the past 13 years, World of Warcraft. We got an announcement about Battle for Azeroth a couple months ago, and I think it's about time we talked about that. So the things that I want to talk about specifically for this video are three things that I feel like could either make or break this expansion. And let's just start talking about the very first thing that I think that could make or break this expansion is going to be the new, or I shouldn't really say new because there's not really much new for it, but the PvP and the PvE content. We always know that Blizzard pulls out all the stops when it comes to PvE stuff with their raids and dungeons. They're always magnificent, the aesthetics are great, the boss mechanics are great. Except for LFR and normal. I mean, you really gotta get into the mythic stuff to really see the fun fights, but Blizzard always does a fantastic job with that. I'm more worried about the PvP side of this. They're adding a PvP toggle flag for all realms, so they're essentially making all realms a normal realm is what they're doing with that. I don't think it's gonna be good for the PvP communities in general. You won't have those big open world battles anymore. Open world PvP is just going to be gone essentially, because there's only going to be handfuls of people that'll leave it toggled on at all times. In terms for PvE content though, and I guess this does have a little bit of PvP stuff, they have the island expeditions that they're coming out with. There's going to be it's a 3v3 scenario type instance, I guess you could call it. It has 4 different difficulties: normal, heroic, mythic, and a PvP mode, so there is a little bit of PvP going into that system. When you're not in PvP and you're not going 3 people versus another 3 people, it's always going to be against AI, and Blizzard has developed a new AI system that they developed that is supposed to be smarter than the ones that they've been using for most of their AI content, so hopefully this will be good. I'm excited to try this out a little bit. It should be fun. The objectives for each island expedition is always changing. The aesthetics are always changing. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to offer with that. The next part of the PvE content is Warfronts. This seems like it could be very cool. It's a PvE event based on the RTS World of Warcraft games. You build a base, you gather resources, you build up an army, and then you go destroy the enemy. It's a 20-player cooperative event, and it's also not going to be available all the time. Kind of think of it as like the invasion points that you have in Legion right now, where it pops up once every 18 hours and you can do it once and then you're done. So that's something else to look forward to for PvE. I'm just worried that there's not going to be enough PvP content, because the PvPing in this game has a very large fan base. I mean, I don't PvP that much. Barely at all anymore. I used to do it quite a bit, but not anymore. I'm more into the raids now and mythic raiding, but I'm really worried that there's not going to be enough PvP content, and then we're going to start to see PvP, like well-known PvP people, just start dropping off the map, and Blizzard's going to lose all of their PvPers. I'm really worried about that. The next thing that could make or break this expansion is the Heart of Azeroth. It's essentially the replacement for the artifact weapons right now. Instead of that artifact power, you use Azerite to power up your weapon. The only difference would be that artifact power you had to use to click to use, and then you would use it into one of your 3, or if you're a druid, 4 different weapons, or I guess 2 if you're a demon hunter. But now it's a head, a chest, and a shoulder slot that you power up, and you automatically, once you obtain that Azerite, it's automatically infused into your Heart of Azeroth. So there's no more bags management that you're gonna have to do with trying to power up your Heart of Azeroth. Like I said, it empowers up your 3 different armor slots. It's your helm, your shoulder, and your chest. And there's no Titan forging. And higher item levels are only going to mean that those traits that are in there are going to be a little bit more powerful. And like the traits that you had on your artifact weapons, this one is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be similar to the Crucible, how the Crucible worked for your relics on your artifact weapons. You're going to have 3 different levels. At the first level, you're going to have 4 different choices to choose from. At the second level, you're going to have 3 different choices, and at the third level, you're only going to have 2 different choices. So that's pretty much the heart of Azeroth. I'm really excited to try this out. It looks like it's going to be a lot better than the artifact weapons, just based on the fact that you don't have to constantly grind, and there seemingly is no end to it. It seems like once you get that 3rd level unlocked, it seems like that's all you need to do, and you're just, boom, you're done. You don't need to worry about it. I'm happy about the no Titan forging on this. I do not like Titan forging at all. It's okay in some manners, but I don't like the fact that you can go and run old raids, and if it Titan forges, it could be better in best in slot trinket compared to what the current raid is. I don't like that kind of stuff, but hey, that's just me. That's just my opinion. I don't like it, but I'm excited that there's no Titan forging for the Heart of Azeroth. The last thing on my list for 3 things that could make or break this expansion is the removal of the random legendaries and the tier sets. Tier sets have been in this game since Classic. It has been a huge part of this game. Tier sets used to be able to make or break a class and a spec. I know that in this past expansion, hunters have gotten a huge buff to their damage just because they had the 2 or even the 4-piece bonus on their armor from the tier sets. I'm excited to see the tier sets removed. I think it's going to bring more options to being able to gear out your tune than we're used to seeing, because you're not going to have to go, oh, that's a 10, 15 item level upgrade that has the perfect stats for me, but I'm going to lose my 4-piece bonus, so I'm going to pass on it. I think it's going to be good. I like tier sets, but I think it's going to open up avenues for more creative builds, instead of having to just constantly, okay, what is this tier set powering up? Okay, that's what we're focusing on this tier set. And the other part of this is the removal of RNG legendaries. I don't think there's a single person that's going to complain about that. Having to farm, do the Mythic to World Tour, having to farm every raid on every difficulty every week to make sure that you get all the legendaries, just so that way if one gets tweaked or if they come out with a new one that you're going to get it almost instantly. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. I'm one of those people that when I play a class, I don't want to sit there and just kind of push the buttons. I actually go and I look up and I read about how to maximize my DPS or maximize my HPS or maximize my sustainability as a tank. I don't half-ass it. I want to be the best that I can be with what I have, and those random legendaries really took away from that, and you couldn't do it unless you had all of them. I switched mains halfway through the expansion. I went from a Death Knight to a Hunter, and it was really hard because I had to go and I had to farm all those legendaries all over again, and it sucked. I was not having fun. It ended up burning me out, having to run all those raids, run all those mythics every week, and I took a break again. I'm back in there now playing casually, but I was mythic raiding with my Hunter, and I had to stop just because of the constant running of stuff. People say this jokingly, but there's more grinding in Legion than there was in Classic right now, especially if you're trying to start up a new tune with how much you need to grind dungeons and raids and mythics. But yeah, those are the 3 things I feel like could make or break this expansion. I think it's going to be a good expansion. I like what I'm seeing that they're talking about doing and taking away and stuff. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm worried for the PvPers out there. I hope that Blizzard gives them some love, because I know that there's a large part of the community that is for PvPing, and they don't care about PvE at all. And I hope Blizzard understands that, and they go and they try and fix that, because if we lose our PvPers, we could lose this game. We won't lose the game, but if we lose our PvPs, we're going to lose a large chunk of the people that play this game, and it could be bad. I'm looking forward though, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Peace.
Hey, it's Radit here. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. We put out multiple new videos each week, and we appreciate all of your support. Thanks for watching, everyone, and cheers.